in there. We've got the classics. We've got Blood Run. We've got Lost World and Furious Heights. And guys, if you want to be one of the lucky winners to get a month of unlimited on FACEIT, you can go over to FACEIT community on Facebook and guess who the winner will be. But the game is getting live. It's the first match, Group A, the summer season finale. Here we are, we're live, and there's Pavel with a quick start to the plasma gun, and he's going to go all the way to that red armor. Going to grab it, but under some quick pressure from Kula, and he's going to have to back away.
Yeah, Pavel had a quite okay-ish start. I mean, he picked up the red armor and the yellow, but he doesn't really have any weapons. Cooler, on the other hand, he picked up the mega health and a yellow armor, but he has both the shaft and the rocket launcher. So right now, Cooler is in a better spot. Like I said many times, the M13 is a map where even 50 armor, 100 armor is not much of a big, problem. But if you have the weapons, so right now I think I'm gonna give the advantage to Cooler.
Yeah, and Pavel's just taking his time. I mean, it's still 0-0, so neither player has to be too risky at the moment. And Pavel just controlling the upper areas, making sure he's got everything he needs, stacking up on the LG cells, making sure he won't run out in a fight, and working his way into some positioning. But there is Cooler first on the upper areas. He's going to be able to shut down Pavel from entering onto that open area. So Cooler's kind of controlling the Mega and Red. And look at this control there. He can just do some quick damage and then fall over to the yellow armor, pick that one up and away, and Pavel's just left with those shards and still kind of stuck here. And Cooler has full reign on the map. So it's very troubling times for Pavel. He's got to work out where is the hole in Cooler's movement right now. And he finds it. Wow, great plasma work there. Quite a lot of damage connected.
Yeah, that was definitely really good damage from Pavel, but at the same time, Cooler still have the edge here. He has the top floor control. He's probably going to try and do as much damage as possible at this red armor and then slow Pavel as much as possible and cycle the yellow.
Oh, and Pavel actually has some nice little damage there. He does manage to escape, but he lost quite a lot himself and has to fall back into the yellow. So I'm pretty sure that Pavel's thinking, I'm not really too certain how stacked Cooler is right now, so I'm just going to keep playing it safe. That was one of those situations where it could have turned into something big for Pavel, but he didn't want to risk it too heavily. And so he's going to back away, seize the mega spawn. Not going to see when it's taken though, which is an advantage to Cooler. As we hear Cooler go for the rocket jump up, Pavel knows exactly where Cooler is, and Cooler actually going to drop back for the LG. So giving Pavel a little bit of an opening here to try to make something happen. He's got 20 seconds till the red and the mega, and so he's not much to do here. He does find Cooler with some good rockets. Cooler with some more pressure, goes in there, forces Pavel back a bit. Pavel a little bit scared of Cooler right now.
Cooler has a really strong map control at the moment. He has both the red armor and mega health timing. I think Pavel is not taking any risk at the moment. He's just playing as passive as possible. He's trying to be sneaky and still keeping the mega and red armor timing even from far away. But he doesn't really have, he only has 100 armor. He doesn't really have much to work with. His position is not being perfect, and right now he finds himself without a rocket launcher, and Cooler with a great position takes the first frag.
Finally, he does manage to get that frag. It took him 3 minutes and 10 seconds to grab it, but it did happen. And he was quite weak afterwards, but it was kind of perfect timing because there's, 5-10 seconds until the next big items, and Cooler has the time to go over, stack back up. So he's not really vulnerable after that frag, which is a really great position to be in. Sometimes you don't get so lucky, and sometimes off the spawn you're really vulnerable. So Cooler is stabilized now with that 1 frag lead. And look, he's going to find Pavel again, a quick rocket jump up, and Pavel finds himself in the wrong place. That is in the clutches of Cooler, and there is 2-0 to Cooler, losing absolutely nothing for that. And he even picks up a third here, up the jump pad. What is Pavel doing? Very foolish move there. And I imagine that he didn't know Cooler was there, but I mean, surely you're going to think that he just died. He knew where Cooler was.
Yeah, but I think Cooler here just made a really good read when Pavel had taken the jump up to the plasma gun in the room. And right now, Cooler is just taking advantage of his positioning and trying to rack up as many frag as possible. And right now, he's going to pick up this mega health and then the red armor, and Pavel is basically lost in one corner of the map with nothing to work with. So it looks really good for Cooler right now.
There it is. He's going to spot Pavel again, picking up the yellow, but he knows that all he has right now to his name is a yellow and a lightning gun. So there's not much for Pavel to work with. Cooler can try to predict the double back there. Not going to find anything. He's got red coming up soon. Cooler quite aware, and he doesn't need to drop for the red. You can see he's got amazing armor count, and so he didn't need to take it. Could have gone for a bait if he chose to do so, but there's a nice split between the Mega and the Red, so he just went for it. There he goes up the jump pad. Spots Pavel finally. So finally he kind of has an understanding where Pavel is. And in fact, Pavel goes for a quick double back, but he finds Kula. And now Kula really can lock Pavel down once again. Seal away this yellow. Look at this. Where can Pavel go? He's just stuck around this corner. He can only have 2 ways that he could go. And Kula just being like really annoying with the rocket jumps.
Yeah, but I mean, he's basically low on rocket right now, which is not a really good thing. But yeah, he rocket jump up, so everything is good. He's gonna go and pick up the next yellow. Well, I think he really wants to get... Where is Pavel right now? Pavel, oh my god, he just stole the Mega Health from Cooler. I think Cooler right there, he tried too much. I mean...
Yeah.
It wasn't really necessary. He could have just made sure that Pavel would have been stuck into the room when he had the upper yellow, and he had the Mega Health and the red armor to take. So right now, Pavel, he picked up the Mega Health. Still, he doesn't really have much armor. Well, he picks up this red, so I mean, I'm gonna call him that a mistake from Cooler, really. I mean, he gave a chance to Pavel to get back into the game just because he was too eager to get another frag. In this map, you know, keeping the control and making sure that you have the right position at any time, it's basically really
Oh no, Pavel, he does give away that little edge that Kula may have given to him, that little bit of hope. But yeah, it did seem like Kula perhaps could have just gone for a delaying play, like you say, just lock him down there and just make him wait, and then you can easily take the items. But I mean, it seems that it worked out in the end for him. Pavel did make a mistake, and that's the beauty. Sometimes you don't have to make a great play. Sometimes you just have to wait for the mistake of your opponent. And Pavel is going to go down again off the spawn, and this is looking like an unrecoverable situation now for Pavel. 7-0 for Kula. That's really, really good work from the Russian Anton Singov, the champion, who hasn't been necessarily as dominant as he used to be, because at one point in time in history, Kula was pretty much the best player in the world.
Yeah, but I mean, he hasn't been playing active for a really long time, and then when he got back, he was working full time, so he didn't really have probably the same amount of time to practice. But right now, Cooler, especially in the last 6-7 months, has been showing us that he can still do really well, and that his form is back to be, you know, really good. And
that's for sure.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, it's the stack is kind of equal. Cooler still. I think Pavel has a better shot here to get back into this game, even if 2 minutes is not really a lot of time.
Yeah, he does have some armor here. He's going to be throwing some grenades. He can make his way to the red and the mega, but it's going to be really fast. That mega's going to spawn straight away. Here he goes. Will Kula be there to drop on it? He does. He gets himself out of there. Really, really good stuff from Kula there. He's just going for a delay on Pavel. He just needs to delay him. That's really all he has to do, as he's got such a crazy lead. 6 frags for 2 minutes. He can quite easily just keep running and being a pain to Pavel and be impossible to catch. And you know, there's no railgun on this map, and that can make it harder to chase people down sometimes, as you don't have the instant burst damage on any range, which is really crucial. You know, we see it on maps like Blood Run, where comebacks can really be made possible just because of that weapon. But this is a similar map in so far as you have all these choke points and corners and so on, but you don't have a railgun to help you when you chase. So Kula 80 health, and Pavel is still circling the map. Hasn't found him just yet.
The M13 is one of those maps where you can just basically plus back with 50 armor and a rocket launcher and make double damage, of not 3 times the damage of your opponent. And Cooler is just playing really well. I mean, he has been hitting all his shots and positioning himself great through the whole match. And right now, Pavel is trying to get this kill. He's still struggling, even if he had much more stack than Cooler. And right now Pavel pick up this mega health, but with 40 seconds left on the clock, I think this match is already over.
Yeah, I think it's safe to call. The next map though will be Furious Heights, which is the pick of Kula. So Furious Heights is definitely a map we've seen him performing brilliantly on. So it's no surprise that he's picked it. But Pavel, I mean, both of these players are going to be pretty comfortable on most maps. It's only really going to be Toxicity where you say Kula really has problems.
Yeah.
But as far as Cure goes, maybe that's his second weakest map out of all the maps in the pool.
I mean, I think Cooler is not bad on T7. He was really bad at the start of Quake Alive. It was one of the maps that he hated the most, mostly because the railgun was always a big problem for him. And then slowly he started to pick it up. He slowly started to get better into the, into Furious Heights. And his style of playing, it's really different compared to the other players. And he's really good at attacking the red armor from different sides and with his rocket launcher, because the red armor on Furious Sides is in a position where you can surprise the enemy from the top or rushing really fast from the shaft side or from the nade side. So, and Cooler, a lot of people think that Cooler railgun is really weak. Well, I gotta tell you that it's not. I mean, he has matches where he probably hits nothing, but he has matches and it's at least 60% of the time or 70% of the time where he still hits a good percentage, you know. And I think Cooler slowly through the years become one of he created his own style, and I think on T7 he's really good. I don't really remember Pavel playing T7. I don't think I ever played against Pavel on any competitive match on T7, so I can't really judge. I remember playing him on the M13, so I kind of knew what to expect. But on T7, I don't have many information about him. But I think Cooler, I mean, has proven us that he can do a lot of damage there. And
yeah, for sure. I actually feel like I'm going to give it to Cooler as well as far as the edge. He's played some very brilliant Furious Heights matches. I think the map really suits his play style because Cooler, I think, is... I mean, this map, you can have like a bit of everything. Like you can have some really fast-paced action. You can really slow it down. You can do a lot with all the weapons. You can. It's really, really strong to ambush players, like you were saying, in many different locations. There's really a lot of... I mean, that's why everyone really loves this map. I mean, it's got so many options. It's really diverse. And I think that plays very well to Cooler because he's one of the players who doesn't necessarily, always stick to one kind of thing. He's very good at adapting to the situation and his opponent. And I think that this is a map that really helps you if you're good at those kinds of skill sets. So Cooler, I would expect him to have one over Pavel. Also, Pavel seems to have kind of a bit of a block as far as getting to the playoffs in a tournament like this and against the big names. Because Pavel, you're going to put him over Demon, I think, a little bit, although it's close. And I'm going to say, Cooler, Cypher, Pavel, Demons, probably how the group's going to go. But we'll see how it ends up turning out. But I think, do you think that's a fair assessment? Maybe Pavel a little bit above Demon, like Pavel third, Demon fourth?
Yeah, Demon during this year has been showing us that he can do really well, especially online. And I think he even won a few FACEIT Cups. And I think that he went to the final a lot of times. And I mean, Demon this year proven us that he can be one of the top players if he's in good shape. So while Pavel, I mean, I think he has been in some of the finals, but at the same time, I don't think I don't think he's at the same level as the other guys. Probably because he doesn't appreciate, probably doesn't like duels as much as team deathmatch. That I don't know, but I think that the players like Evil or Agent have been performing better than Pavel on duel. So,
yeah, Evil, he is. That's a big name. QuakeCon finalist. He's going to be in the second group. So if you're wondering where Evil's at, you will see him today. He is in today's tournament, as well as Toxic, and they're going to be in the same group as well. So that's going to be amazing. It's have to be the two favorites for that group. But then, oh God, it's amazing, really. Just those two players. You can almost forget the rest. They've had some great games already. I think I did, like in my analysis series, the first one I did was of Evil Toxic. And it's really interesting just because both of their aims are so incredibly strong. And Toxic's quite strong defensively. I mean, that's kind of where his aim his game is based around, that aim defensive play usually. And Evil is very aim-oriented but aggressive. It's like quite a nice clash.
Yeah, but I think that's the style that Toxic should pick up. Unfortunately, Toxic doesn't really feel comfortable with Quake Live. He thinks that he cannot play the same style that he used to play in Quake 4 because he doesn't feel comfortable with the netcode and online. he thinks that too many players can hit the same percentage of him as him. So he'd rather play defensive. The main issue with playing defensive is that Toxic doesn't have the same control that he used to, because back in Quake 4 he used to rush all the items so fast, and sometimes he didn't even time. He just knew that the item was going to spawn, and he had a good stack, and he had the shaft and the rocket launcher, but mostly the shaft, and then the rocket launcher, and it was just like brute force coming to you. While on Quake Live, he just plays too defensive, and he loses the timing, he loses the position, he makes a lot of mistakes, but still, his aim is so good that can, you know.
Yeah, he uses his strengths here, but the game is getting underway. It's all about Cooler and Pavel needs to win here. He needs to win this map, or Cooler's going to do a quick 2-0, and that's going to be Pavel going one game down in the group already. He cannot afford to do that. And let's have a look now as we have Pavel off on the start again. He is going to go low for that approach onto the red, and that's quite an interesting one. Dropping down there through the teleporter, and Cooler's going to back away, in fact, and be content with giving away that red armor. And that actually puts Cooler in a down position off at the start. Yeah, there it is. A quick aggression. Cooler has to defend. He does so with rockets. He's looking good so far, but Pavel is still lurking. He wants to take the fight, and there he is, the Mega's up on the spot. And wow, Pavel's going to finish him off, and that's a kill and the Mega.
Yeah, I think there was a big mistake from Cooler, because he had the railgun, and the railgun had, you know, he did something right. He said, you know what, I'm not gonna go for the red armor. If you want it, you can take it, but I have a railgun, so I'm gonna position myself better at the Mega health. Instead, he went down to take the first yellow, which is fine if you go up and in the nade corner, you know, as fast as possible. Instead, he started to engage Pavel with the rocket launcher and the shaft, and he took too much damage. So right now, Cooler is probably gonna go down again.
Wow,
Pavel is gonna take this Mega, but Cooler spawned for sure at the red armor. Let's see, yeah, and he picked it up. So this is a good chance for Cooler to get back into this game.
Also, that was a really cool play, actually. Cooler like going for the delay and putting so much pressure on Pavel. Pavel was super scared because even if he took one more rail, he's like really in critical spot. But another fight is going to ensue here over at the red armor, and Cooler's quite happy to back away. You know, of course, taking that red off the spawn. He's in a decent spot. He's got options to work with. He's going to go back low. It hits a crazy pixel rail as Pavel drops for the red. That is definitely a better than expected result for Cooler, but he is kind of putting his back against the wall here at that yellow, so he's going to be careful as Pavel is going to be coming very soon. Mega spawning from the LG, and oh my god, the rockets are great. The quick switch to rail doesn't quite pay off, and that's going to be one more rail on that Mega platform. So Cooler kind of making somewhat. I mean,
yeah, that was so unfortunate for Cooler, because he basically lost. He didn't have any more rockets, but right now Cooler, great red armor timing. He just fell down from the top floor at the right moment, picked up the red armor and picked up the frag as well. So Cooler back into this game. Mega health is gonna spawn in 11 seconds, while red armor is gonna spawn a little bit earlier. So I don't really agree with this Cooler position, because he can just go down and try to get at least rail Pavel, because right now they're gonna exchange items. See, Cooler is gonna pick up this Mega health, and Pavel has the chance to pick up this red, and the stack it's gonna probably be quite even, because Pavel is gonna be 100, 200, and Cooler 200, 130. But by the time, you know, they're gonna fight again, it's just like the difference is gonna be so small. So
indeed. So Cooler right now with this kind of a stack, and he's only one frag behind, so it's chill mode. Chill, just run the items. He's definitely got a decisive advantage right there, and here we have him picking up that red, pushing his positioning onto the Mega, finds Pavel going for the defense, but Pavel was just not fighting well enough, and Cooler actually having a bit of a, I don't know what that was at the end of that fight, but it gave Pavel the chance to escape there. You know, Cooler will get that Mega health, the yellow, and he has enough time to sprint his way over to that red armor, and there you go. Pavel's not gonna take it, it's too risky, but look at that rail, fantastic, misses the jump rail, but still Cooler in by far the better position now. He's got Pavel on the run. Pavel's in a lot of trouble, and Cooler, you know, he could really close this game up, tie it up very soon.
Yeah, he delayed the red armor perfectly there. So Mega health is not gonna spawn at the same time as the red. He's gonna have this yellow to pick up. is gonna try and put a little bit of pressure. He needs to be careful because Mega Health is spawning and Red Armor is spawning too. I think this is a little bit of a mistake from Cooler because he delayed the red, but why did he go there? Now Pavel has a chance to pick up this red, and he does. So that was a little bit of a mistake for me, even if he picks up this kill.
And there it is. I mean, it's going to get a frag and another one off the spawn as well. That's so painful for Pavel. Losing the lead there, and as we move into the halfway point, Cooler's going to be one frag in the lead. But the thing is that he's vulnerable off the spawn here, and Pavel's trying to make advantage of that, and he does pick up the red, and Cooler can't commit there, and he does fall back. But he's got the mega health here, he's got position, there's really no way that Pavel can stop this. So Cooler's going to stabilize it a little bit here, and he's got to make the next big fight should be on this red armor, the next red armor that's spawning. So let's see what happens here. Cooler's going to go low. And there it is, Pavel will try to shut down the choke point, but can Cooler hold this aggression? It remains to be seen now as he does pick up the red. Looks like he did a good enough job, and Pavel's going to just back away, and now Cooler's in the driving seat again. Yeah,
Cooler still having pretty strong control right now. Pavel with only 97 health and 30 armor. He's probably trying to get the mega time here, and he does. So red armor is spawning in 4 seconds. Cooler still have a big advantage. Better position, better control, better stack. So it's gonna be quite tough for Pavel to get back into this game. He needs to cycle the yellows. He needs to use the railgun very well to try and hit Cooler from far away. Cooler showing us that cycling the yellows on this map, it's also really important, so you don't really give any advantage to the other player. But T7 is one of those maps that it's really hard to have full control. So even if he keeps the mega red armor and one of the yellows, the other player still has 50 armor and at least a little bit of shards. So let's say 75 armors every minute, And it's gonna be really important for Cooler, since he have a pretty big stack advantage, to keep delaying the red armor, so he doesn't really have to worry about Pavel putting himself in a position where he can just slow down Cooler and then go and get the other weapon, the other item. So right now Cooler just gonna pick up this mega and then go back to red. Even if Pavel hits this rail, Cooler doesn't really have to care about it. He's gonna he has to try now to do as much damage as possible, because Pavel did really well. He timed the red armor perfectly, even if Cooler delayed it before. And I mean, right now, let's see. See, the stack is quite even. Cooler there didn't do a lot of damage, so it's gonna be 50-50 now. Next mega ult is gonna be quite crucial.
So here we go. We have Cooler just chilling. The red's up on the spot. He's gonna get some. Try get some damage. I mean, that was really, he really needed that rail to connect. Now Pavel's feeling confident. But the thing is that Pavel knows that Cooler's really stacked as well, so it's really hard for Pavel to decide, okay, I'm just going to go attack you, because Cooler's going to have that defensive advantage, and then the fight's going to be in Cooler's advantage. But Pavel's starting to run out of time. He's going to have to make a play like that. He's going to get desperate really soon. So let's see how, when Pavel decides he's desperate enough to really go for it. And look at that, he does spot Cooler there, and Cooler knows that he can split the mega and the red, but Pavel's going to leave up the red and take the fight. That's a really smart move from Pavel. That could have been a huge opportunity. I love it, and Cooler's going to cycle back for the red, but Pavel's going to come off on top here, picking up that mega, having a yellow under his belt as well. And Cooler now there, he's going to get caught by Pavel, but what a rocket! Just to the face. How the hell did he hit that? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, a really good flick shot there. And the shaft as well was perfectly aimed. And right now Cooler has a good advantage to pick up this red. He needs to be careful. He needs to pick it up, or at least do as much damage as possible to Pavel. If he runs out of rockets, oh my god, this is going to be really close.
Oh my god, 12 points of health. He pulls out the rail. The Hail Mary could be here, but there it is. Cooler actually going to manage to work his way to that 50 and be all right. No Hail Mary required, as he does escape there. And I have no idea how. That was really, really close. He did do quite a lot of damage, though, as Pavel was fully committed. But now Cooler's kind of trapped. If he jumps across, there, that was so risky there. But I mean, he couldn't do anything else. He had to get out of there, and he managed to do so. Cooler once again managing to get his way out from harm's way. But look at that.
Awesome read by Pavel. I mean, he knew that Cooler was desperate. He needed
That
help.
was crazy.
Yeah, so he just that read was freaking awesome.
That
So
was brilliant.
right now Pavel has a 200 stack, and he's
Yep.
probably. I mean, I guess he wants to finish the game before going to overtime. This is the best shot he has really to win this game, because you never know what to expect from Cooler, and Cooler can get back into the game anytime.
That's for sure. And Pavel, he needs to make his advantage count. And there, that rail is going to really signal, I can go aggressive. And there he is with the LG. And there it is. He's pulling it out there. He's trying to connect as much as possible, but the rockets of Cooler, almost dangerous. But Pavel does get the frag. The Mega picked up too. And Red's coming up soon, but will Pavel be able to get there in time? It doesn't look like he can, and Cooler's going to steal that one away. But Cooler's got no time. This is Pavel taking the tie frag with 1 minute left. The frag to get himself in the lead with about 15 seconds left, and that's all he needed to do, and there you go. That's going to mean that Pavel, it will tie up this series between Cooler and himself, and that's going to make us see a blood run decider, and that is really, that's the place where this really should be decided between these guys. It's the classic Russian map between two of the best blood run players in the world.
I think both players played really well. There was one big mistake from Cooler when he was leading, and he had much better stack than Pavel, and he had full control and was delaying the red armor, and then instead of going to the mega health and then picked up the red armor safe, he wanted to, you know, be aggressive and kind of push and do damage to Pavel the ray gun area, and that was a big mistake because he lost the time. So he had to go back to mega health, picked it up, but then he didn't really have enough time to go and get the red armor. So he picked up the frags after it, but he took too much damage because Pavel had the stack. So we have to go on to the third game on Blood Run right now. But
here we go. It's just begun. This is the decider. This is the first map of the day, or the first match of the day for the summer season finale. Pavel and Cooler battling it out. This is now all down to Blood Run as Cooler awaits his opponent there. He's predicting Pavel to want to go for that lightning gun, and that's kind of, I think, part of also what, you know, he even used the lightning gun too. So he does manage to scoop that one away, and that's going to give him so much in the way of aggressive options onto the next red. Here it is. Look at this. He can just sit here with all the weapons in the world. Pavel knows he can't challenge, and so it's a free pickup, a completely free pickup for Cooler.
yeah, that was a really good start from Cooler. Right now, he's going to try his best to pick up this Mega without taking too much damage. He has a ray gun. He doesn't really want to take it because he knew that Pavel probably was going to try and, you know, aim for him while taking it. So right now Cooler is gonna go into this red armor. He has a pretty solid control at the moment. There is a yellow spawning. He knows that Pavel is gonna try and play the passive game now. Pavel right now went and picked up the shaft finally, but he doesn't really have a good stack. And he has only 11 health, so he needs to be careful. He needs to be careful because here just one rail shot or 2 seconds with shaft means death.
Yeah, and those are some really strong, you know, pursuing rails shot by Cooler, and that really puts Pavel way back on the back foot. He can't do anything. He's got 70 health, no armor at all, and Cooler just gets to establish a nice little cycle around the map of items. But Cooler really needs to press the advantage. He's got Pavel into the position where he's pretty much just going to keel over and die if he just pushes the issue. But let's see if he does actually go for that.
Yes, Cooler controller now, it's way too strong. It's not only timing the mega health and the red armor, even if right now they're spawning at the same time, so he has to be careful. But it's also cycling the yellows perfectly. So Pavel, even if he wants to play the passive game, doesn't have much to do. He doesn't really have much stack, so he cannot fight Cooler. And Cooler can fight anytime like he did now by just rocket jumping and still deal so much more damage that Pavel is back to start. So right now Pavel is probably gonna go and try to pick up the lower yellow because he's cycling perfectly. He knows that Pavel only has a yellow that is spawning in 20 seconds. See, Pavel only has 79 health and 21 armor, but a Cooler needs to be careful because the red armor and Mega are really close to each other, so he needs to make no mistakes, and even if they're close, he needs to rocket jump and basically cut them up really fast.
And look at this, he's taking a bit of a risk here, leaving the red up to predict that Pavel thinks that it's too dangerous to take that red and then go for the yellow instead, and that almost paid off. Pavel was kind of edging his way towards that, so almost paying off. but not quite. So Kula taking a bit of a risk, Pavel not capitalizing, and still the chase continues. Pavel is still weak, he's still lacking for anything, and Kula's still just cycling everything, and eventually either Pavel's going to be stay alive for long enough that he'll stack up and be able to get in on a big item, or he's just going to die, and that's like the two possible outcomes here. So let's see what happens first.
Oh wow, Pavel just decided to probably drop down. I don't know if he rocket jump up to red. I think he did, but I guess he mistimed it. He knew that Cooler was coming and he just dropped down. But Cooler right now needs to be careful because we are 3 minutes and 30 seconds to the game. He had the solid control for 4 minutes, but still no frags. Pavel has been playing the map perfectly in defensive way. He always doesn't really have much stack to work with, but eventually Cooler is gonna make a few mistakes because it's really hard to play a map perfectly for 10 minutes, and that's where Pavel is gonna take advantage of that. So right now Pavel, for example, he got into this fight, he did a lot of damage, but still, and he picked up the red, but still that was enough because Cooler still has a good stack, but this is a good chance for Pavel to get back into the game.
Yeah, let's see if he manages to do that. I mean, this is a really key opportunity. It doesn't come around that much against a player of Cooler's caliber on a map like Blood Run. But there it is, up onto that red, little hop with the rocket, and back down onto the Mega. So that opportunity is just blown away.
Yeah, it did. Right now, basically, Pavel is back. Well, not really. He still has 75 armor, so it's not bad. He's gonna pick this lower yellow as well. He needs to be careful. It's gonna be really important to get railed, but he did.
Yeah.
So Cooler, you know, hitting the right shot at the right time.
Seriously.
Yeah, never missing the perfect shot that is still giving him that little hedge that is gonna push Pavel to play the defensive way.
Yeah, it's painful. A quick grenade does pop onto Cooler though, which is quite damaging, but Cooler's still so strong that he's not really sweating it at all. Picks up another yellow. He takes so much on the map now. And there it is. Oh, he catches Pavel here, stuck on the red platform, has to drop, but what the hell was that? Cooler, how the hell was he so weak?
And Cooler responds. Oh my god.
The rocket's absolutely perfect there. And that's just ridiculous. After 5.5 minutes, just insanely close fighting. How was Cooler so weak? I don't even get it. But here comes Pavel straight onto that Mega Health. He's too slow though, and Cooler picks that up, and the time wasted there could actually help Cooler pick up more items here. Yeah,
I think Pavel has the shaft and a railgun, so Pavel is in a better spot. And he picks up the rocket launcher. The Cooler left right there when he died. Oh my god! Cooler! Okay, so Cooler right now is in a really good spot. He's gonna pick up this frag for sure. Yeah, he does.
That's so funny, man.
He needs the shaft and needs to make sure that Pavel doesn't get, you know, the important weapons, and he's gonna get the small lead that is gonna be so important for him through this match.
It's so funny, like, oh my god, that rocket launcher, he'll never understand that he left that and Pavel has it, and then oh my god, he can rocket jump to the red. That's amazing. Oh wait, that's why he dies. It's just, it's so funny. But there it is. I mean, Cooler's 2 frags ahead now. That's so weird, but 3.5 minutes left. So let's see, Pavel's still got time. It's just 2 frags. It's 1 kill and a spawn frag. That's how you can look at it a lot of the time. So Pavel's going to try to make that one huge play at some point, or work his way towards it, hit some rails in a row, or maybe just go crazy. But actually, he can't really go crazy. If you look at Cooler, he's 200-200, and Pavel's only got 40 armor. And look at this very, very aggressive play from Cooler, using the rockets, but wow, that damage is crazy. But it doesn't really matter because Cooler has his pick of the litter when it comes to items, can take whatever he wants, and still after all that, Pavel's not even made it then.
Such great movements, really. I mean, instead of rocket jumping to the red armor, he rocket jumped back to the yellow, so he knew they would probably try to take, took away that armor from Pavel, and then they just went on and pick up the red as well. Still got hit by rails, but he managed to keep the control. His mega timing has been perfect for 7 minutes and 30 seconds, and Cooler 3-2-1 still has a good lead, and it's looking pretty good for him. He's gonna probably hit the second rail as well. Well, he doesn't, and Pavel is gonna pick up this health. doesn't look that bad, really. I mean, if
Yeah.
before he managed to kill Cooler, even if Cooler was a little bit too aggressive there, it's
Yeah.
still doing really well. So it's 2 minutes left.
Oh, that
Cooler's
was
always
painful,
trying to be
man.
sneaky, and those rockets
Oh my
doing so
god.
much damage.
Yeah, I mean, Pavel like had an amazing position there. It really felt like Kula shouldn't have been able to do that, but he's Kula and just did it with rockets forced his way in. And that's going to be a mega stolen away for Pavel, but Kula's got 100 armor, and that's going to turn into 150 as he takes the yellow. Oh, this is bad though. He does get trapped at these boxes, and this is a really terrible position because he has no escape. He's committed to the fight. Here is the fight, and 6 health remains for Pavel. Picks up the red. He's just praying, please don't spawn near me. Please don't spawn near me before I get the health. And he does get the health, and he's going to be all right. He knows when Mega is too. So Pavel's in with a chance here, and he's got to be quick. He's got to be so quick to just try and find Cooler and not give her anything away. He picks up the Mega. Oh, just barely avoiding the second rail, but this has got to be it.
Oh my god, Cooler, that rocket. That prediction was just perfect. And right now, he has 65 armor, and Pavel is basically stuck with 62 health and 150 armor, which is not enough. I mean, when you're down to frag at the end, you need to play the perfect game if you want to rack up 3 frags in 1 minute, really. And Cooler is playing as passive as possible, but Pavel is missing all the rocket jumps. That's not
He knows it's
the
over
perfect
now.
way to get back into the game and tie it up. So even if he picks up this Mega, he still has 30 seconds, so
That's nice.
it's still a bit of time because he only needs 1 frag and I hope for a spawn frag. But Cooler dealing so much damage. I think this game it's done. Cooler is gonna go back to his plasma room, and he still has so much stack that he can just, you know, play defensive with rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Win it.
It was a great effort from Pavel though, but even though it's so close, it's going to be Cooler that is going to be the victor in the first game of the summer season finale. The first match of Group A. Cooler starts the day off with a very, very nice little bit of momentum against Pavel, and that's going to feel pretty good for him. And Pavel's got to go back to the drawing board a little bit and think about it, because the next match is actually going to be Demon versus Cypher. So that's going to be pretty crazy, and that's going to give Pavel some time to be like, okay, it's all good. And to be honest, it's not like he got destroyed or something. He's going to be... I mean,
he played really
yeah.
well. He played really well on both T7 and ZTN. And ZTN, quite unfortunate, didn't really have control since the start. He managed to get back. He even managed to get the first frag, which was pretty impressive because
yeah,
Cooler.
that's true.
But I mean, that's something you really have to think about. When you're in control for 5 to 6 minutes, making no mistakes, but still you haven't managed to pick up a frag, something bad is gonna happen to you really soon.
Yeah.
So you need to be focused, you know, all the time. And Cooler was focused, but still I think it was a little bit too aggressive. He took maybe some passive defensive rockets from Pavel, and then shaft to shaft, Cooler was going forward while Pavel was just aiming. So it's really much easier for Pavel to deal much more damage with shaft. But I mean, Cooler, really good with railgun on ZTN, like I said. You really never know what to predict. He has over 60% railgun on ZTN. So that was over, I think it was 16 shots fired and 10 hits. So not bad.
It's pretty strong.
Like you would say, not bad.
Not bad. And on that note, guys, we're going to go to a very, very short break. And when we come back, we'll have Cypher versus Demon as our second match of Group A for the summer season finale. So stay tuned for that, and make sure that you tell your friends to tune in to FACEIT TV, because you don't want to miss this.